I want to thank everybody for viewing this orientation of the Hero Home Source Teacher, Law Enforcement, Firefighter, and Armed Forces Appreciation Program. Hero Home Source is a nonprofit entity of fellowship builders out of Delaware, and the whole idea behind the program is to be in service to our heroes. And if you read that quote at the top, "A man's wealth is not in the purse he carries. A fat purse quickly empties if there be no golden stream to refill it." It's a quote from The Richest Man in Babylon, and if you haven't read that book, I certainly encourage you to do so, because it goes hand in hand with what we're doing here, hand in hand with the idea of passive income streams, which really doesn't exist in residential real estate. You're always only as good as your last transaction, and then you're kind of back to square one, unless you're really good at getting referrals. And I haven't met a lot of realtors that are really, really strong at the referrals. And even then, you have to work at it with setting up your systems and your past customer follow-up and your sphere of influence. And this program really kind of morphs on its own and does its own thing, and builds a viral connection that doesn't exist in any other source of business. So I'm really excited to deliver that value to you and go over how that works. And in addition, we place a $100,000 guarantee on this program. If you don't earn $100,000 within your first year in this program, we refund your membership. And I think that's putting your money where your mouth is, and we do it for two reasons. One, we like to be held accountable. The second is we, of course, want you to be held accountable, but we know this program works. We know the value it can deliver. I've been doing it for a long, long time and know exactly what it can do for your real estate career. And I had not too long ago, a young agent called me up, and she was actually a friend, and asked me if she thought about getting a real estate license. And when I go back and look at all the things in real estate and where we've been over the past 5 or 6 years, I couldn't in good faith say, yeah, gosh, I think you should go get your real estate license. I think it'd be a good idea, unless you had a lot of money to throw at it, $300 or $400 a month to do your farming and your expireds and your for sale by owners and get into the REO world. But I can tell you, with no reservations, that with this program, I believe that an emerging agent, or even a professional would benefit from this program. So I can say that with all my heart, and give that young girl 2 thumbs up to go into this business and implement this system. So again, I appreciate you guys being on and hearing what we have to offer. My name is Chip Isabella. I'm the National Sales Director. I started offering employee benefits back in the late 80s when I was with Humana throughout the Southeast. In 1992, I joined the RE/MAX organization, and that's where I implemented the Law Enforcement Teacher and Firefighter Appreciation Program. In 2000, I was fortunate enough to run one of the largest exit offices throughout the entire system and deliver this program to over 500 Realtor associates during those 7 years. In 2007, my younger brother, my Marine brother, became terminally ill, and we felt it best to relocate from Florida to Georgia here and support him and be with him and help out my family here. So I've been here since that time, and I went to work within his organization, CoverYou.com, which is an insurance business, and offering employee benefits there, all while maintaining my real estate license over the last 4 or 5 years now. And when this program presented itself to me about 1.5 years ago, I knew that that was where I needed to be. That is what I need to do out of respect and honor for my brother, who was a Marine, and my wife, who's a teacher, and I definitely went full force and put all my eggs into this basket, and I'm just proud and honored to be a part of it. I'm going to point you to a couple of different areas throughout this. Our website is packed full of information. You can see that we've aligned with AnnieMac as a national partner within the loan processing. The reason we did that is just to offer that additional source of lender opportunity for you guys, and we certainly encourage you on the local level to align yourself with your mortgage brokers and have them join the program, and your title companies as well. But we wanted to give you another opportunity, another avenue to compare good faith, compare loan programs, and compare the opportunities that are out there. I believe the more value you can bring to your clients, the better it is for all of you, and having these people aligned with that vision is a good decision for all of us. And today we're going to talk about a few very special things. offering special benefits, rebates, discounts, and savings to some very special people. And we do that through the law of reciprocity. The employer wins, the employee wins, and you win. We realize that if you're not making money, it's not a good business decision. So that's how we look at this win-win relationship where everybody benefits. And we do that by creating top-of-mind awareness. And we do it with niche professional organizations, and do it with demographic farming rather than geographic farming, and by creating a viral marketing component. Just doesn't exist in this real estate business. You can't tell me the last time a for sale by owner went out and preached a good word of what you've done for them. So that viral contagious aspect is what we're looking for in this program. You can always do your standbys, your Bill Nasby and your Alex Zinnig and your cold calling, your door knocking and your direct mail, and certainly great sources of business. I've met thousands of realtors in my 20 years of doing this, and I could probably pull out 5 if I really thought about it for about a month straight that were good at all 3 of those. Cold calling, door knocking, and direct mail. Cold calling I could probably get 4 real quick, but door knocking I might have to really search for one person. And I would just submit to you that we look at it a different way. When I moved down here with my brother and watched as he grew his business, and I can tell you that he built a very big insurance business in Florida, and did it all by networking through the Chamber of Commerce and the different organizations. And he had went through a divorce and just decided to sell his business in Florida and move to Georgia and do it all over again. And he went back to the same staple, the same thing that he always did, which is networking, going to the Chamber of Commerce, the business alliances, and all the different organizations in there, and form those relationships. So in networking and forming relationships, he was able to build another successful business from scratch. And I can tell you that one of the things that I've learned is that to be in service to others is probably the best decision you can make right now. There's a quote from Glenn Ross, which is one of my favorite movies. Alec Baldwin does a rant for about 10 minutes. If you've never seen it, I encourage you to go on YouTube and watch it. But he does this rant at the end. He says, A, B, C. A, always. B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. And I can tell you, I think that's about as obsolete as an 8-track tape player right now, because if you're not in service to people in this day and age, I think you're going about it wrong. And I think that networking, forming relationships, and being in service to others will dramatically impact your career path. We're going to talk about our police officers. No group more virally connected, no group more deserving of special things, and no group more accessible. They're everywhere, and they're very easy to access their organizations. And of course, the members of our military, certainly a newfound respect and awareness for them. They deserve our VIP care and attention. They make an extreme sacrifice. Their families also make that sacrifice for us. And of course, our firefighters. We have a new awareness since September 11, 2001. I don't think we ever look at these heroes the same way again. And I can tell you that I've been doing this program since before that in the 90s, because I knew then it was the right thing to do. With all that's happened over the past 10 years, it's taken on a whole new meaning and a whole new life of its own. And I can tell you they're certainly deserving of all of our VIP care and attention. We're honored to participate and help these heroes out. And I won't leave out our teachers. My wife is a pre-K teacher in the Georgia school system here. She has 22 kids that run around and bounce off the wall, and I've been in her classroom a few times at different times, and it's always the same, pandemonium. They're overworked and underpaid. They definitely deserve some special things, and I can tell you, after watching what my wife does, it's pretty hard for me to complain about my day when she gets home, seeing all that she does through the course of her week. Definitely honored to be in service to our to our teachers. And one thing that's, you do something right by one of these heroes and offer them some special things. Do you think that they're going to keep it a secret? Wouldn't you think that they're going to share that with all the teachers? They sit around at lunchtime and have their lunch and talk to teachers on breaks and tell them about their new house and what you've done for them. And that's where this viral component takes place. that doesn't exist with your for sale by owners and your expireds in your farm area. I want to just touch on this slide real quick. Back in January 16th of this year, the Florida Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors put out this press release that basically says serving a military market niche was a good idea, that being in service to them and helping them with the purchase and sale of their home was a good idea and a good source of business for realtors and for the military. All I would say to you is welcome to the club. It's about time, and I say that tongue in cheek. But I can tell you that we've been looking at this opportunity for a while, and we've been doing this for several years, and because we knew it was the right thing to do, and it really makes me happy that people are jumping into the mix and adding some support for us and putting that out there, which is a great thing. And if you look at some of those numbers there, and I know it might be hard to see on your screen, currently 22.3 million veterans, 1.4 million active military, 833,000 reservists, and 1.3 million families connected with the military. That was by NPR stats and everything, so a pretty reliable source that had to come up with those numbers. But that's just your armed forces, guys. That's just your niche for armed forces that doesn't include teachers, police officers, and firefighters. So we want to welcome NAR and FAR to the appreciation program here, and we certainly respect that as well. If you take a look at your staple sources of business down the left side, what if instead of farming a neighborhood for $400 a month, you farmed a professional group like the FOP or the PBA, the Fraternal Order of Police, or the Police Benevolent Association, or your local county school board? And what if instead of calling a for sale by owner, you met with a school principal who was in charge of 50 teachers? And what if instead of door knocking and expired, you visited the American Legion? I'll tell you firsthand that my brother was a proud member of the American Legion here, and he took me down there several times, and I met a lot of the people, and you won't find a finer group of people than those at the American Legion. These are all, they're young to middle age to old age. I mean, there's a very diverse group there. There's a lot of young members in there as well. Sons of the American Legion is a part of it. Kids of fathers and mothers that were in the military. And so it's a very diverse group, but they're a very supportive group. They open their arms to you. They open their arms to programs like this. They're honored to help you deliver this value to the members of the American Legion. And everything that was going on with my brother, they were a very big support component for me, and very good friends of mine today as a result. And I can tell you that there's no group that is more helpful and loving of their country than those at the American Legion. And I can honestly say that that group on the right has done more for me in a year than those three groups on the left have done for me in 15, 18 years of residential real estate. I've made a lot of money in my farm area. I've made a lot of money with FSBOs, and I made a lot of money with expireds. But I never had a viral, contagious component that went along with any of them. Once I closed my one deal, I had to go back out marketing in my farm area to get another one. And that's what we're looking to change within this program, is create that viral component. 185 high school employees is Stoneman Douglas High School, and all the teachers and faculty there that produced 21 real estate transactions out of that one school. That's better than any farm area you'll ever see within your county. 1,513 members of the local PBA produced 91 transactions, and 28 firefighters produced 6 transactions in one small fire station. I can tell you that one alone is better than your farm area, because you'll never be able to compete in a farm with other realtors and take away 100% of the business. So out of 6 transactions, you may get 2. But what if you were the point of contact and the person offering deep discounts, rebates, incentives to that fire station, and you took all 6 of those transactions? That'll blow away any farm area out there. And the types of clients you're going to find are your standard clients that you find in your day-to-day business. First-time home buyers, young teacher, young cop. My nephew was a Marine who just got out of the Marines about 3 years ago, and I went to pick him up in Baltimore and drove him back here, and he stayed with me the first 2 years while he went to school to study criminal justice. He is graduating here in the next 2 months and just got hired on at the Gwinnett County Police Department to be a police officer. Went to school on the GI Bill, and will soon be making a great deal more money than he's ever made in his life. He was getting about $1,500 a month plus his college paid for in the GI Bill, which was great, and that's why he stayed with me, and I was happy to support and help him in that. And now he's going to go to making $35,000, $40,000, $50,000. So he's going to be looking for a house here pretty soon. He's engaged to be married to a young girl, and I'm sure they'll be looking to start and maybe buy a condo or a small house, and eventually I would start having kids. So that's the type of clients you find within this program. First-time home buyers, relocation buyers, people moving in and out of the area. Of course, upgrade programs, people selling their smaller house and upgrading to a bigger home. Your empty nesters, which was a very big source of business. My father-in-law is a retired major for Fort Lauderdale Police. A lot of his police buddies that were retiring wanted to sell their homes and downsize or relocate to Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, North Georgia, and we sold their homes there and were able to help them relocate. Then, of course, you'll find executive properties where maybe the wife's an executive at American Express and the husband's a police officer and they want to buy that bigger executive home. And then always vacation properties. So you'll find all your standard sources of business will apply within this program as well. And how do we go about finding these folks? Your law enforcement officers, your local police stations, the PBA, the FOP, your police academies, retirement parties, retirement luncheons, pension fund managers, city managers, and credit unions, all viable sources of business for you. All your teachers, public, private schools, colleges, universities. The PONY system is an internal network within the teacher county system that delivers all their flyers and documents and memos throughout the teachers, so a really good source for you. A lot of members have had great luck with attacking the school board at the county level and gaining access to all of the schools within that county. And of course, touch base with your principals, the administrators, your unions and credit unions, firefighters, EMTs, the unions for them, the credit unions, the fire academy, which consists of firemen and teachers all rolled into one. And then, of course, all members of the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, your Coast Guard, National Guard, veterans, honorably discharged, all your VA hospitals, health centers, the VSO, the Veteran Service Organizations. I could go on, but they're all sources of business. And I want to make one clear point. You do not have to be active duty military or actively teaching or a police officer or a firefighter to participate. Honorably discharged members of our military and retired people are eligible. They're certainly entitled. They paid their dues. They put their service in, and they're certainly able to gain benefit within this program. Dave Merzin was appointed as our National Strategic Alliance Manager for good reason. We had met on the state level in a few different areas and met with the head of several organizations to deliver this program to them. And Dave comes to us with a long history of, he was a chief legislative assistant and he was very much a part of that program before he went into the real estate business, and had a lot of connections and knew a lot of people. And we went out there to meet these people, and you can see the people that we had met with. Big organizations, the PBA, the FOP, the AFL-CIO, the National Guard Bureau. And we had a big song and dance prepared for about a 15-minute presentation, and I can tell you that to say that it was the greatest business day of my life would be an understatement. In 20-some years of working, I've never had a day like I had when I was at the Capitol. And all these people embraced the program 100%. They welcomed it with open arms. And what was even more exciting to us is that when we met with the NEA, the National Education Association, she's like, look, you got to meet with this girl who's the head of the FAA, the Florida Education Association. And we're meeting with the National Guard Bureau, and these guys are responsible for troop movement throughout the U.S. Those are the guys that are responsible that any time there's a big shift from the military from one base to another, from Virginia to Jacksonville, they're responsible for it. So they took every piece of collateral material with them to their meeting that they had a week later, and were delivering that out. And then they personally hand walked us down to that gentleman in the bottom right, John Kankakis, who is the Chief of Staff to the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Florida. So needless to say, a couple of guys that were presenting this program were sitting in the governor's office. Was a pretty nice thing to have happen. And he had made some other introductions and sent a letter to General Petraeus' wife, which I'll go over for you in a minute. But I can tell you that that's what's getting excited, and that's what we're looking to do for you guys, is not only help you on the local level build and gain access into these organizations, but to do it on a national level. But the biggest thing I have is that I need members. I need feet on the street and foot soldiers out there to be able to support this program, because the worst thing that could ever happen is that I have somebody to call to buy or sell a house in an area and I don't have a member. That would be not a good thing. So that's what we're looking to create for you guys within this program. That email that John sent was to General Petraeus' wife. General Petraeus is the, obviously he's a general, but he's also the director of the CIA, and looked at as the next president of the United States in 4 years. His wife is spearheading a campaign to assist with financial affairs for our military. I'm pretty sure that doesn't have a lot to do with balancing your checkbook and paying off your credit cards. It might have a lot to do with buying and selling real estate, short sale negotiations, and foreclosure avoidance. So he had fired off an email to her with an introduction to us in it, and we're happy to be working on forming those alliances for you guys and deliver this value nationwide to them. So we were just honored and proud to be a part of that and be able to deliver that to you guys as well. So within the program, we had always looked at what can we do to bring the value and how can we align ourselves with these different organizations and bring that value to everybody and create that win-win-win relationship. And if you look at those few charities up top, the FEMA Disaster Relief Fund, the AFL-CIO, the National Guard Foundation, and the Heart Fund. And I'll just touch on the Heart Fund because the Heart Fund is put in place for all of our police officers. If they are injured and killed in the line of duty, the Heart Fund kicks in and takes care of the family of that wounded or killed police officer. So to say that they're very attached to that fund would be an understatement. They want to build that Heart Fund. They want to bring those charitable donations in. So what we needed to look at is how can we at Hero Home Source align ourselves with these organizations and basically have some skin in the game. We had never, ever, ever intended on charging a transaction fee within this program, but in meeting with all these organizations, it became necessary. So all employee benefits directors, which are Realtor members of the program, contribute $150 as a transaction fee to the program. And that goes to the fund of the hero's choice. So if you're working with a police officer, he would most likely want to donate to the Heart Fund, so you would pay a $150 transaction fee that would be donated to the Heart Fund in his name. The mortgage professional would pay a $100 fee, and the insurance or title company would pay a $50 transaction fee. So up to $210 donation to the fund of the hero's choice. And when we were discussing all these things with these different organizations, this is what we came up with. And when we would come up with that, every single solitary one of them was 100% thankful and on board with that, because we had to put a little skin in the game to align ourselves with these organizations and deliver that value, and the heroes are very honored to have us contributing to those funds on their behalf as well. So I hope you guys understand where we're coming from on that. In 2011, Hero Home Source was a good program. In 2012, it became a great program. Adding this level, we now have letters of endorsements coming in, new language, and funds to donate to on behalf of our heroes. And the reason I have been touching base on this with you is that if you see that list on the right of the top 40 counties in the United States, the biggest component that we have is that all of these organizations wanted to make sure we were filling the most populous counties. I do apologize. My slide has not been updated. We had just locked up Orange County and welcomed them on this call today. And there are a few other counties that have been locked up and are in the works. My commitment is to lock up those top 40 counties as fast as humanly possible, so that we can go ahead and make 100% these relationships and put them into play with putting our links on their website, their links on our website, and delivering this out nationwide to all of you members of Hero Home Source and the members of all these organizations. And like I had said, the Achilles heel for me would be if somebody had called me up a week ago and needed a member in Orange County, California, and I didn't have one, I'd have egg on my face. So you can see where the importance of filling these top 40 counties are. And if you take a look at some of these other companies that are out there, I don't ever badmouth the other companies for sure, but I will tell you that Hero Home Source is a nonprofit organization. And the reason we're a nonprofit organization is it gives you guys a lot better leg to stand on and gain access within these organizations and get meetings and get to the top, the head of these different organizations. Some of your other companies out there, if you go on their website, one of them charges a 30% referral fee, or 30%, referral fee. 25% goes to the hero, and 5% goes to them. I know that for a fact. It's on their website. I just don't know where that 5% goes. In addition, their membership fees per month are about 3 times higher than ours. So I can tell you that we're looking to do this very different. They're very successful companies, guys. Like I said, I have nothing against them. I can just tell you that I feel that there might be some things wrong with that puzzle, and we're looking to change them and do them differently. So we keep our membership fees low. We're set up as a nonprofit organization for that very reason, and every dime that we make goes back into this program to be in service to our members, who are then in turn in service to our heroes. I've done several searches for you. If you take a look here, the American Legion, the map on the right, there's 3 American Legions within about a 2 or 3 mile square radius. Great opportunity for you just in that one small city. Private schools in Miami, I think the map on the right is pretty compelling. I don't think we have to say anything more about that. And we'll touch on endorsed and authorized by the employer. If you worked in American Express, and American Express told all their employees, hey, go to Joe's Crab Shack, you get a 25% discount on your dinner. Well, everybody wins there. The employer wins because they're delivering value to all of their employees. The employees win because they get to go to Joe's Crab Shack and have a really nice meal and save 25% off their bill. And Joe's Crab Shack wins because they have more business. And I hope you guys understand where we're coming from on that, because employer wins, employee wins, and you win. That's a good business decision for everybody. Now, how does the program work? Realtors sign up to be benefits directors, and they apply for a geographic territory. We do have several different programs, which would include exclusive counties for brokerages. So once you are approved, and we make sure that the population density can handle that and that there's no exclusives in your county, once you're approved for membership, we then place you into the program. Realtors agree to a 25% rebate of their gross commission. Hopefully that number sounds familiar, because it's a staple within real estate. It's the referral fee that you would pay to any other realtor for handing you a piece of business. If I called anybody up on this call today and told them I had a seller that wants to sell his home in Orange County, California, would you take that referral and pay me a 25% commission? I don't know of a single one of you that would say no. You better not, because that would be a silly decision. So that's where we came up with that number. That's a standard number. Mortgage lenders agree to a 0.5 point or flat fee rebate. So a $100,000 loan would produce a $500 rebate back to the buyer. And the title company agrees to basically 20% of the title policy of the promulgated rate, which is anywhere from $250 to $750. All these rebates are subject to applicable state and local laws and lender restrictions. We understand now that, especially over the last 6 months, that has really tightened its belt, and the politicians, if you will, and the heads of all these different organizations have made it tough for lenders to compete. But we do train you within the program and train the mortgage and title partners of how to proceed and offer the value. And it's all fully disclosed, like I said, on the HUD statements. The buyer and seller are both aware, so we certainly want to make sure that we're all compliant and doing the right things there. So we will help get you through those processes as well. Just a few numbers for you on rebates. A $100,000 home produced a $1,600 to $2,000 rebate. $300,000 home produced $2,680 to a $3,000 rebate. The one thing that we look to create within this program is that dropping the pebble in the pond and watching the ripples go out. You can certainly go over to your expired listing and drop the pebble on the front door, but there's not going to be any ripples. The expireds don't brag about you. They don't kind of preach the good word of what you've done and how effectively sold your house. And that's one of the things that's always been missing, that we always look to do, is help virally spread the word of what we're doing. And that's where we come up with this contagious aspect within the program. Some people might call it karma. You could call it the law of reciprocity. Some will say it's like a virus, but we just call it good business. Being in service to others is just a good business decision. That center pod right in the middle, that big pod, would represent my core business. And all of those little finger spiderweb pods that go out from there would be my relationships and my referrals and the things that have transpired, especially within this program. And I always tell one of my favorite stories, and I could bore you to death with 50 stories, but Rob and Jen were a just married couple. Rob was a firefighter in a police officer in the Fort Lauderdale Police. And I came across Rob, and he went to purchase his first home, and I formed that relationship with him and offered him my 25% rebate there. And as the relationship grew, I ended up selling 5 homes for Rob. So he bought and sold, until I sold him his last house. And his last house he purchased was $500,000 back in the day when real estate was booming. And all totaled, I probably made anywhere between $17,000 and $20,000 in gross commission from Rob and Jen, rebating him about $5,000 or $6,000 of that over the years. But do you think that I regret that in any stretch? So you would look at a couple of those different pods, and 5 of those little pods out there would be Rob and Jen's houses. I can tell you that I don't regret it. I never regretted it. I never doubted it for a single second. And as a result of my contact with Rob, marketing as a real estate professional, they have become good friends of mine today. I just spoke to Jen on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, touching base on our kids and what we're doing and their kids. And my wife had a party a year ago. She had turned a number that I won't mention. And we went back to Florida to have a little surprise party for her and invite a bunch of friends. And we, of course, invited Rob and Jen and sat down and had a glass of wine and just talked about old stories and old things. And she had even reminded me of when we were at a closing, and her firstborn child, Andrew, was there. And while they were signing documents, I was feeding him his bottle. And this is the type of things you can create in the program, guys. And I've never had that relationship with a for sale by owner or a expired listing or somebody in my farm area. And they're good friends of mine today as a result. I sold 2 houses for Rob's brother, and I sold his dad's house when he sold and moved to Tennessee. He was a cop as well, sold his big home there in Florida, and now he lives in Tennessee, and I was happy to send a referral up to get him taken care of there. But that's just one story. It's my favorite by far, guys, but that's the type of things that we create and why I get so excited. That's what I can tell you about those, and I could go on and on and on, but I hope that you got the idea. And if anybody has that in their for sale by owners or in their expireds, I applaud you. But I can tell you that this stuff is easy within the Hero Home Source program. So realtors will apply, like I'd said. You'll apply for your area representation. Once you are approved, and we know that the population density can hold another office or another realtor, we then assign that territory. You'll receive our training modules, which consist of 3 30-minute videos that really give you a lot of information about the program. Talk to you about why we're doing it, how to go about doing it, how to present it, a very, very big in-your-face training module. Once you do that, you'll receive your certificate of achievement, and then your digital marketing package is released. This is about a 1 gigabyte file of all the documents you'll need within the program. It would consist of postcards, door hangers, press release ads, flyers, business card templates, name badge templates. All the videos on MP4 will be there that you can load them onto your iPhone or your iPad. All the past archives will be sent as well, and all these things will become available to you. So basically, you won't need to recreate the wheel. We've already done that for you. You just go in and put your name, your phone number, your logo, your picture, and start sending out this material and marketing stuff right away. In addition, we offer 26 weeks of coaching calls. We walk with you side by side, step by step throughout the year. It'd probably be pretty easy for me to package this stuff up in a big binder with a bunch of CDs and sell it to you for a couple $100 and be done. But I can tell you that I think I still have CDs in the basement now that are shrink wrapped that I haven't even opened. And that's not the idea of what we want to do, guys. We want to be held accountable. We want to walk with you. We want to make sure that we deliver things to you. And we do have a lot of members on here that every other week. So May 1st was yesterday, was one of our calls, which we talked about listing opportunities that go on within this program. And then our next coaching call is May 15th, then May 29th, and you can see from there. Every 2 weeks, very religiously, we don't miss them. They're every other Tuesday at 2, and each one is designed to give you a new opportunity, a new source of business, new ideas. In addition, the members share their success stories. They share what's working for them. When my group in New Hampshire goes out and has a event for a fallen soldier and a bike ride and has a big table and things happening out there, and they are able to share that success story, we're able to deliver that to everybody else within the program because there's no fear of competition, guys. Nobody's concerned about New Hampshire, the people in New Hampshire, infringing on the people in California. It's not going to happen. So that's what's really great about it, is that members share their success stories. We've had a few of them that have got radio commercials, which if you go on our website, on the homepage, herohomesource.com, and right on the right-hand side, there are 2 radio commercials that were done basically for free. Very easy to do. And one of my favorite stories was that one of our members was working that radio station trying to get that commercial, and I guess the radio guy didn't really get it. He didn't understand what was happening, and then we showed him one of our 4-minute videos that we have for law enforcement, and he goes, "Oh, I get it." So this guy went back into the recording studio, made a whole new 30-second commercial, put music, patriotic music behind it, and it gave me cold chills when I heard it. I couldn't believe it. And this is the type of things that easily get created within the program when you go out and be accountable and meet the people and do the work, and that we're glad to share with you. We'll also work with you on setting up your email campaigns and how to do some drip methods. You know, one of my members was trying to get with a police captain and trying to have him send an email blast on her behalf, and she was working. I'm like, look, you know, the guy's running a business. He's running a police station. So it's got to be a drip thing and kind of get to him. And unbeknownst to her, one day, he finally sent the email. I sat here on the computer and watched 9 people register on our site within 20 minutes, all wanting information. And she had just actually closed 2 transactions from that email that it came on. So that stuff is just exciting to me. That's the fun part of this business, is watching those things happen and morph and take effect. So, and I welcome that for all of you to be a part of it. So we work with you and guide you and help give you those tools. All the videos have a link on YouTube, so they're very easy to email. You don't get blocked by spam or too big of videos, so we've made it real easy for you to share those videos with all these different organizations. And there's one for teachers, one for police officers, firefighters, and the armed forces, all of them available on our YouTube channel for you guys. In addition, we also talk about our social media platforms. Facebook and Twitter are not just about the new Breaking Dawn movie and what you had for dinner and pictures of your puppy dog. It's come to that, but I can tell you that When done right and harnessed properly, it could be a very, very big viral component. And I welcome everybody to go onto our Facebook page, our Twitter page, our YouTube page, and help us spread the viral word of Hero Home Source, because if you look at some of these slides, you can actually do some very strategic marketing. There's an estimated reach of 200 people who live in the United States within a 10-mile radius of Coral Springs, Florida, age 25 and older, who like Marine Corps veteran, foreign wars, VFW, so forth and so on. So there's a very strategic way to go out and attack and get exactly what you're looking for out of this, and we're going to help guide you through our 26 weeks of coaching calls on that and build those viral connections out there. And I can tell you that I haven't met a person to date yet that's not connected to a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or a member of the armed forces, which is amazing to me, but everybody's connected with it somewhere along the line. So a couple of our members had done an event at the Seafood Festival where 20,000 people came through. It's pretty awe-inspiring for me to think that of the 20,000 people, all of them knew a police officer, a teacher, a firefighter, or a military personnel. So that to me is what's great about this program, is how connected we all are within this. We also provide you scripts, your teacher scripts, law enforcement script, firefighter script, and our armed forces. All you need to do is go in and change your name and email and phone numbers. All this stuff that we provide is Microsoft products, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher. If you don't have those, I certainly would look at getting them. I think it's we've always used it in just general real estate, in day-to-day business, just as doing door hangers and things. But especially within this program, it graphics-wise gives us a really big tool to create the best pieces that we can for you guys. I always encourage you to go on our website and take a look there. We have frequently asked questions and all the information fully disclosed to you guys, in addition to how Hero Home Source was formed. The formation was organic as it was simplistic. My father-in-law is a retired major. My brother and nephew are both Marines. My wife and several good friends are school teachers, and some very good friends of mine are firefighters. So for me, honoring them with special discounts and incentives was a really, really easy choice to make. And I always encourage our members to go out and find their story of why they do this and why they're in service to these heroes, so that they can connect with those people at the right level and be in service to them like they need to be. So like I said, our frequently asked questions sections will give you a lot more information. I know I'm throwing a lot at you here in 30 or 40 minutes, but it's kind of internalizing and digesting this. This is a new way of looking at real estate. I definitely know that it's going to be around for a long, long time, so I want you guys to be as familiar with it as you can. And in addition, it gives the heroes out there a way to get all the information so they can wrap their head around it as well. Just some simple math that we'll do. Police officer purchased a home for $100,000, produced a $1,550 rebate. $200,000, $2,700 rebate. $300,000 home purchase produced a $3,900 rebate. I can tell you where the rubber meets the road is when you compound these benefits. A police officer sold his home for $150,000, just using the listing side of the realtor side, which I said it's a very great listing component for you, produced an $1,100 rebate. Then they purchased their next home for $225,000, and it had a bundled rebate of $3,000. So we were able to provide a rebate of over $4,000 to that police officer. I can tell you, over the years, I've watched a lot of families buy that new dining room set that maybe she always wanted, maybe do a baby's room. I've watched them put brick pavers on their driveway. I watched them buy some furniture, redo bathrooms, redo kitchens, and some of them have just actually taken the money and recouped their closing costs and down payment, which is all fine. That's their money to do with what they will, but I'm very happy to be a part of it and provide that to them. And I can tell you that when you do that and present it properly, wouldn't it be pretty fair to say that that police officer is going to tell those other police officers that Rob Hoffman is going to tell his brother and the other guys in his station what I did for them? I sold their house, I sold them their next house, gave them over $4,000 to buy some new furniture or recoup the monies. I'm pretty sure they're not going to keep that a secret. In fact, I know they're not, because I've seen it and I've experienced it for myself over these years, so I know that they don't keep it a secret. We'll also act as a consultative resource for you on the Good Neighbor Next Door and the HUD programs, the VA mortgage, dollar HUD homes, foreclosure avoidance, short sale solutions. Our next coaching call is going to be about short sale solutions. One of our members is aligned with the short sale company nationwide that provide great service to all those sellers that are looking at that option for them. And we want to be able to go out and deliver that value to our members so they can in turn go out and deliver it to our heroes and help them out of this situation. I can tell you that when I was talking to the guys at the state capitol and about General Petraeus' wife, it's pretty amazing how many people in the military are faced with these situations, the foreclosure avoidance, the short sale solutions. Their husbands or wives are overseas fighting in the war, and the spouse is home with the kids left to deal with this stuff. It hits you pretty hard when you think about it. So there's a very big need to help them out and to be in service to them. And we want to make sure we arm you with all of that information so that you can really give them all the information that they need to make the best decision for them. So for you guys, it's one real quick step. You go to our website, herohomesource.com. There's a very pretty big blue button that says Employee Benefits Director, which is you, our realtors and brokers, and you click on that link to sign up for the program. Within there is just a couple basic questions, your name and address, of course, phone number, email address, all that good stuff. I need all that data filled in, and that gets you started within the program. Of course, you put your credit card and everything, information in there as well. Everybody that signs up within the next 24 hours receives a free copy of The Richest Man in Babylon, provided by businessbuilderusa.org, which is another nonprofit company that we are happy to be aligned with. And it's a great book and a great read that certainly goes hand in hand with what we're doing here. So my pleasure to provide that for you as well. And I'll touch, of course, on pricing for our program. Very simple, guys, very affordable. It's not going to cost you $400 like a farm area would. Realtors sign up at $69 per month. There's a one-time $99 orientation and setup fee. Everything is front-loaded on this program. We give you all your tools, all your resources, all your documents, all your flyers and publications, your digital marketing package. Everything gets front-loaded for you, including past archives. So that's why there's that fee. What we've come up with was a very competitive program for you guys because, like I said, I need feet on the street and soldiers out there. And we're doing a 2-for-1 special that we've extended where a realtor joins up at $69 and becomes the primary, and they're able to bring an additional realtor in at no charge. So basically you guys can share that $69, $35 a piece, and make it extremely affordable for you. We know it's tough being a realtor out there, and we understand that, but I need feet on the street, guys, and we are in Los Angeles. Somebody just texted me. We are nationwide, guys. We are everywhere. We are all 50 states. We had some people on from Hawaii several weeks ago. So yes, we are everywhere right now, and definitely looking for membership out there in Los Angeles as well. So I'm happy to talk to Holly on that, offer her those deals, and in addition to the 2-for-1, guys, we're waiving the $99 orientation. So $69 gets you started. You get another person to join in and share that cost with you. I know this program is an extreme value at $69. I can tell you at $35 a piece, it's a steal. But like I said, I'm running a nonprofit here for a very distinct reason. I need this program to go viral and contagious and spread like wildfire so that we can be out there in service and form these other things that we want to do down the road. We offer a brokerage level membership where a brokerage can sign up at $2.99 per month and put as many members in the program as he wants. That becomes very affordable because if you got 10 agents, you charge them $30 a piece. That pays for the program, provides a huge saving for all the members in the office, and you have 10 members within the program. So that's our brokerage level side membership. And then we have, of course, our exclusive, which we're looking to sell those top 40 counties for exclusives to lock up those counties where a brokerage can join up, lock up their county, like Clark County, Nevada, Orange County, Fairfax, Virginia. where you guys have the lock on those counties and no other realtor or brokerage can join up in that area, which I know is a tough nut to sell, but that's a very big commitment, a very good opportunity for your brokerage. And as we go out to Remax and Caldwell's and Keller Williams, that opportunity starts to get a little fade into the black, if you will. And we do have very affordable options, and it's based on population density. We have prices in counties under 100,000 population, 100 to 400,000 population base, and 400,000 and above. So any brokerage that's on the line interested in a countywide conversation, I'm happy to talk to you on a one-on-one basis and go over those options. And I will tell you they're anywhere from $199 to $499 that we can provide that solution for you depending on the size of your county. In addition, on the brokerage and exclusive brokerage, we're waiving the $99 orientation fee today. So I'm happy to offer that, guys. My information is on the right. Call for details, chip@herohomesource.com, and my phone number. Normally my phone goes pretty crazy right after these meetings. I get inundated with calls, so if I don't get you right away, I will get to you this afternoon, I promise. So thank you guys for being on. I appreciate your support and look forward to being in service to you guys. Thanks again.